The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
It's a Tuesday edition of Talking Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas, and the SWBC studios. Welcome in, everybody. We've got Patrik Walker. We've got Josh Rodriguez.
Hi.
We've got Tommy Yarrish filling in for Isaiah Stanback, who's halfway across the globe right now. And we've got Chris Beam in the back, as always. I'm Kyle Youmans. Glad you're with us. Lots to talk about this week because it's the final week going into what is going to be either a very interesting or very non-interesting. I mean, I guess that's pretty much how anything is in life. But you get what I'm talking about. It's free agency madness in the middle of March.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about John Cena turning heel.
They're not ready for that.
We can talk about that.
Okay.
They're not.
I saw like The Rock was involved in there.
It's a big deal.
It's like a whole thing.
Arguably bigger than anything going on in this place.
You know what?
I'm
Let's
saying?
just skip the whole. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk Cowboys.
All right, fine.
Listen, there's two people here, maybe 2.5 that could talk wrestling. I don't know. How much are you caught up on your wrestling?
I was more in the meme aspect of it because I sent Patrick a couple the other day where I have no idea what's going on. But it just was really funny.
You and I are cut from the same cloth because whenever we do see something from wrestling, we send it to both of these guys. Or Rob Phillips.
That's
the
the
other one.
foundation is there. We just got to get you guys to build upon that.
Right.
Yeah, I've been to WrestleMania. Right. Like, that was a lot of fun.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was
the
awesome.
Fact that you've been to
yeah, it was the one where Stone Cold Steve Austin came back from retirement and made things happen. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's great
Which
stuff.
might happen at this WrestleMania as well.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I like it. Wrestling talk.
The pride of the
in the off season.
Pride of the University of North Texas, baby.
So is he retired and unretired like 8 times?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how wrestling.
Welcome to wrestling.
Twice.
He's like 65. It looks like.
Welcome to wrestling. That's how wrestling goes.
So there's one guy that has retired, and he will stay retired, I think. Zach Martin. His whole announcement and celebration is scheduled for tomorrow, so we'll have some more on that next week as he kind of wraps up and ties a bow on what was a phenomenal career. That's one news and note to get to, but that's not the only one. Patrick.
It's not, because Daredevil comes out today. Okay. All right. So just honoring Frank Castle, Daredevil.
There you go.
Yeah, that whole situation. So let's talk Osa Odighizuwa. Okay, so
talk about rumor mill.
Yeah, talk about rumor mill. It's been hot and it's been heavy, and the Cowboys have been fighting tooth and nail to try to get a long-term extension done with Osa Odighizuwa for the better part of a week now. They started up in Indianapolis early last week, where Tommy began kicking some major ass up there, and I love it.
Thank you, sir. Good job, y'all.
I was able to join Nick Eatman and I were able to join Tommy on Wednesday, and we, boots on the ground there with Tommy, really got to dig into what was going on with the situation with Osa, and every single day they got more and more traction toward getting a potential long-term deal done. I actually believed, and I know Tommy is with me as well on this, there was a strong feeling that the deal would have been done by the end of next week. That's how much progress they were making on a daily basis. But
End of last week.
End of last week. Last week.
It's like, so we've still got time here.
Wish. Well, maybe.
Kind of,
which goes to the next point.
Yeah.
Okay, so today being Tuesday, March 4th. This is the deadline day for franchise tags to be applied to the NFL. They have to be filed by 4 p.m. Eastern time. So they're up against it right now. Made some more leeway on yesterday, or headway on yesterday, I should say, but the franchise tag still looms. The Cowboys are not, and I repeat, not going to let Osa Odighizuwa hit the open market.
Okay.
They're not going to do it.
Either way, he will be in a there
Cowboys uniform.
will be a deal or there will be a tag.
There will be a deal or there will be a tag. Now, in the event, and right now, for those that like to play the odds,
you got about 5 hours until that deadline.
And it is still, as we woke up this morning, it is still 50-50. It could go either way. A deal could land while we're sitting here having this conversation about a deal.
And that's been the case since Friday.
That's what I mean. Like, that's how close this has been. It is imminent. But nothing is agreed to as of yet. So in the event the franchise tag is applied, I'm told it will be the exclusive franchise tag to the tune of $25.1 million. Before Cowboys fans
said how much?
$25.1 million
for the 1 year.
Yeah, fully guaranteed for the one
year.
Just 1 year.
Now, Cowboys hope that if it comes to that it will result in it being simply a placeholder and nothing more. Cowboys will still be able to negotiate a long-term deal all the way up and through the next deadline, which will be July 15th. If the Cowboys don't get a deal done at that point, then the franchise tag will lock in and Osa will hit the open market again next year. That being said, there is evidence towards that, because DeMarcus Lawrence, granted it was the second franchise tag, DeMarcus Lawrence was tagged. A month later, they got a 5-year deal done. Dak Prescott, his second franchise tag, they tagged him 24 hours later. 4-year deal, $160 million. So there's a bit of a precedent there. And I say that to say Cowboys will continue to work toward a deal even if the franchise tag lands, because they need the cap space. They cannot allow that $25.1 million to sit there against them going into free agency.
Now, just clarify for those that might be new to this. Whenever it comes to Osa, he doesn't want the tag either, even though it's guaranteed money.
Right.
And it's something up front that he would get the $25 million, which is probably more than he would get on average per year in the long-term deal, because in his market value is more so around 20 to 23 million. I've seen numbers kind of all the way across the board. I would probably say it's closer to the 20 than the 23.
And you'd be correct.
And so if you're talking about market value and where he stands, average per year would be lower than what the tag would be. However, he's more interested in the long term.
Correct.
He wants the 20-year or 20 per year over the next 3 or 4 years down the line, as opposed to just the 25 in year one.
And on the franchise tag, really quickly, you're saying Osa would not want that, but I think that goes to any player. Like having a franchise tag
most part
is not an ideal situation for most players.
It's betting on themselves.
Tommy and I had a great conversation about this whole thing yesterday, as far as pros and cons for both the tag versus the multi-year contract. Franchise tag, yes, there's a situation where you have a fully guaranteed lump sum, $25.1 million, bang, right in your account.
Got it.
Okay, here's the problem. Knock on wood, what if you get injured? Your free market value in the following off season tanks, because now all these questions about will he be the same player, how long will it take for him to get back on the field? There is an inherent risk in the franchise tag, which is why players don't like it, even though the guaranteed money is staring you in the face. Also, if you take into account, if you sign a multi-year deal, presumably, especially for Osa, the fully guaranteed money on the new deal will be multiplied over this 25. So let's assume it's 50 million, just hypothetically. Let's assume it's 50 million guaranteed on the new deal. Wouldn't you rather 50 million guaranteed plus stability on a 4-year contract versus a 1-year contract at 25?
That's 25
million?
And it's a
right.
bet.
So to Kyle's point, Osa and no player, hey, ask T. Higgins how he feels about a franchise tag. Not all warm and fuzzy about it. So again, Osa doesn't want to be tagged. The Cowboys don't want to tag him. Both sides want the deal to get done, which is why there's been so much traction and progress in toward getting that. But when you're talking about a deal of this magnitude, sometimes it takes a little longer to tweak and fine-tune it to get it exactly where it needs to be. I still have confidence it gets done today before the deadline, but 50-50, I'd say, as we have this conversation. And if it is a tag situation, again, I say to Cowboys fans, I would be absolutely stunned if we're having this conversation in training camp and he's still on the tag.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment. I think that, when you look at this, you mentioned at the top of the show, there's 5 hours to get an extension done. I don't think there needs to be any rush here. I don't think either side is in any kind of hurry to get this done, because Osa Odighizuwa is going to be wearing a star on his helmet next year. So it's just a matter of, okay, how many more years is he going to be wearing that star on his helmet, and how much is he going to get paid? Look, like you said, guys, the Cowboys don't want to pay $25.1 million. Osa Odighizuwa is a hell of a player, but if they want to be selectively aggressive in free agency, they're going to have a pool of money to where they can go out and get guys that fit that mold. So I would guess, and this is just a guess, that franchise tag gets applied today, and we're in a Dak Prescott kind of situation where 24 hours from now we could be looking at an extension. The good news is they've got until mid-July. I think it's July 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern time to finalize an extension before that franchise tag officially goes into place. So I don't think there's any hurry here. I don't think either side wants to rush into a deal and make any kind of rash decisions. So I would expect today the franchise tag gets placed on Odighizuwa and they get an extension.
I think really quick, I think the bigger thing is for the Cowboys, they're trying to get this done for a couple reasons. One, obviously they want Osa in the building for a long term. But from an accounting standpoint, legal tampering starts on March 10th.
Yeah.
You want to know what your accounting looks like going into March 10th. You need to know what your actual money is, not, okay, well, we got this $25 million against us, and maybe that won't be the case come March 13th or March 14th. You don't want to have to play it that way. You want a clean accounting going into March 10th saying this is what we have, this is what we have to work with.
Simply put, it buys you more time to get the extension done, and it takes the guesswork out of him being on a different team next season. It's not going to happen. Right. He will have a star in his helmet, like you said, and I don't think anybody wants an Anthony Spencer situation where he's on a franchise tag for the next 2 years.
Yeah, because you could tag him again next year, but that number's only going to go up.
Exactly.
And kind of going back to what Tommy was saying, deadlines make deals. We hear that all the time. The deal right here is he's back. Plain and simple, like you said, keep it simple there. He's going to be a Dallas Cowboys defensive tackle next year. But because there's so much motion, just because they do place the tag and because that is the placeholder doesn't mean we have to wait until July. It could happen.
Absolutely. And I think we talk about the deadline today for the franchise tag. I think the deadline for an extension is what Patrik was talking about, legal tampering, because you have got to have a visual of what you have to work with from a money perspective going into free agency. Because when you look at this team, there's only so many spots you can fill in the draft. And this is a draft class that, when you look at players from 15 through maybe 50, from what we're hearing, that you're kind of getting more or less the same guy. And even Will McClay told us at the Senior Bowl that this is a class that is full of depth pieces in terms of what these guys can provide to a team. And the good news is that's exactly what the Cowboys need. They need to build around their stars. Yeah. And Odighizuwa, I would consider to be one of their better players, and you could say he's a star on the defensive side of the ball. So you've got to get him in the boat before that legal tampering period so you can know how to mesh the draft and free agency.
And to a point that you made yesterday when we were speaking about the whole Osa situation, as well as Osa has played for this Dallas Cowboys defense, regardless of who the coordinator has been, there's a very real chance that when you go back and you look, like Tommy told me yesterday, when you go back and look at how Eberflus runs his schemes, there is a really good chance that Osa explodes onto the scene in 2025 under Matt Eberflus. So keep that in mind. The Cowboys are looking at the potential with him, with Eberflus, as well as his contributions already made.
Well, he's going to make $20 million a year. He's going to have to produce. Because that's plain and simple. Right now, you think of it and you look at him on the rookie contract as a third-round pick, you say Osa overachieved. He did everything he needed to. He was a productive player. He did some things well. He did not do some things as well as across the board. If you're getting paid $20 million, Osa Odighizuwa, the pressure's going to go up.
And you kind of want to figure it out, and you want to know where his ceiling is.
Yes. Right. And good thing is, I agree with Patrik here, I think Matt Eberflus already has it in his head that Osa is a key part of this defense.
I could see Eberflus
he's already
being
talked
one of the
about
pushing hands behind getting this deal.
He absolutely is, because in the past he has said that the three technique defensive lineman is, quote, the engine, unquote, of his defense. And so when you look back, at his last three tech in Chicago, Gervon Dexter, there's a difference between the two. Dexter comes in at 6'6", 312. Odighizuwa is significantly smaller at 6'2", 280. But when you look at the name of the game for three techniques, it is quickness and explosiveness. And I think Odighizuwa gives you a little bit more in that department, albeit his smaller stature. I think Dexter was, maybe just not in the right spot there in Chicago, and they're thinking about moving him around now. So if that's what you need for this defense, and we know how good Matt Eberflus's defense, when they're playing at their best, are at stopping the run and taking the ball away, it starts up front. And I think if you've got your three technique, and it seems like they will, then you're looking at a year where Osa Odighizuwa can potentially be more than what he's valued at.
I'm excited for Osa. He's going to get the bag. He's earned the bag. He's been around. He's been as consistent. I know he's had flashes of greatness, but he's had a consistent floor. When you look at the film, he's effective. It may not end up in sacks and pressures, but he clogs the middle better than anybody else that's done it for Dallas in the last 6 or 7 years. So really excited for him. Now, I want to play a game with you guys real fast.
We like games.
You've been studying up on the tag. Cowboys have used 11 franchise tags. Can you name all 11 of them and what year they were named?
Okay,
The year is bonus points.
I'm going to try to work backwards.
Okay.
All right, so
You're working backwards. I'm going to turn my.
it wouldn't be fun if I cheated.
Yeah. Okay.
And all right.
The last one, I'll give you a hint, is in 2023.
Well,
That'll get you started.
Tony Pollard.
Okay. There's one.
Dalton Schultz.
Got it.
Dak Prescott. Oh, okay. So when I say Dak Prescott, we're counting him as one.
That's one.
Okay.
Yes.
Even though he was tagged twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I think it's either. Yeah. I'll double check.
Yeah, double check. Okay.
But yes, he was tagged twice. So you got that.
So Pollard, Schultz, Prescott, DeMarcus Lawrence.
There you go. There's 4.
Ooh.
Now there's
you already
a break.
said one, Anthony Spencer.
Got that one out of the way. Was he tagged once or twice?
Spencer twice.
Okay. Trying to help you.
Back to back here. Yeah.
I'm trying to. We didn't tag DeMarco.
No.
No
Tag of DeMarco. If you're in the YouTube chat, go ahead and play along. Yeah, I mean, go for it.
Yeah, and that's why.
Play
so
along
I
and see if you. Yeah, you don't look at it. We'll see if they keep going.
We didn't tag
pull it up.
Dez.
I've got it right here.
Okay.
We didn't tag Dez, did we? Did we tag Dez?
Did we?
We tagged Dez.
We tagged
Dez.
I gave it away.
We tagged
Sorry.
Dez. No, I was
Yes,
working. I
you
was
did.
processing. Jeez. Okay.
You're missing
How many?
2.
Okay, so there are.
So it is.
double
It's
up.
11
Counting the
times
doubles.
used the
Okay.
tag. Yeah.
I'm missing 2. What was? Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
These are the 2 toughest ones.
Man, it's
Position.
awesome.
If you know it in the YouTube,
These gears.
Do
are
you know
really
it?
turning. No, I have no idea.
you don't know it.
But
Okay.
Didn't tag Tony. I know they. No, they were proactive in signing Tony.
Nope.
Position.
Linebacker and safety.
Safety.
Safety. That was the first one, actually.
The Cowboys tagged a safety.
That was the first one. Do you have it in front of you? Do you have it in front of you?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm going to pass on safety.
Okay, it's Kent Hamilton in 2008.
I would not have. Yeah, I don't remember that at
Hamlin?
all.
Or sorry, Ken Hamlin.
I don't remember that
up.
one at all. I remember him as a
Hamlin.
player. I did not remember they tagged him. And you said
Did we not
linebacker.
tag Flozell Adams?
I thought he already said Flozel.
No. So
Oh,
that's the
sorry.
linebacker.
There's 2. No, that's the offensive tackle.
Oh,
but
Flozel.
yeah, there's still a linebacker there. I thought you said Flozel.
Linebacker. Wasn't Sean. Not Leighton.
Starts with an A.
Oh, you just threw me off. Oh, it's Anthony Hitchens.
Different Anthony.
For
Anthony.
a second, I thought it was Bruce Carter, but then I was about to say Bruce, and you that start with an A.
Oh yeah, no. Anthony Spencer twice.
Oh, okay.
Got him twice.
Okay, got it.
That's just a fun game. I just thought it was interesting
Yeah,
because a lot of those, it's across the board. It's either it's worked out great for Dallas or it hasn't necessarily worked out.
I could have stayed here for 24 straight hours. I wouldn't have gotten Hamlin.
Ken Hamlin.
It also depends on what the hit was, because I wonder what it
Look
was
what they
for
got
Ken
now.
Hamlin.
I'm sure it wasn't much.
Yeah.
Even this. I mean, what's the safety position now? It's not.
Yeah, it
too
wouldn't
bad.
even be bad now.
Yeah,
probably.
I don't think it's too.
Oh, you mean what's the dollar
for the?
amount?
Yeah,
Nah,
it's 18.6 now for the exclusive free agent.
I'll take.
All considered, that's not that bad.
No. Any other news and notes before we move on?
Cowboys are also in active contract talks with DeMarcus Lawrence. Those have begun. DeMarcus Lawrence and his agent David Cantor, they've had some comments to 105.3 The Fan, and they're playing the game. David Cantor is no rookie. He knows how it goes.
Yep.
So those talks have begun as well. Jordan Lewis, those talks have begun. No offer has been made quite yet, and that's because they're trying to get the Osa situation nailed down before they really get traction with Jordan. But speaking with Stephen Jones, as Tommy did, speaking with Brian Schottenheimer, Jordan Lewis is a top priority in being
Bring them both
re-signed.
back. Let's make it happen.
And
Then build
contract-
around.
Going back to a few weeks ago when we were talking about the free agents that from this team that we need to keep.
we're talking about those.
two
Osa
right
and
now.
Jordan.
And
It's almost like
Go ahead.
and we had mentioned how Osa Odighizuwa at 3 Tech was an important piece of Matt Eberflus' defense.
Yeah.
That nickel
Yeah,
corner
that nickel
spot has been a
corner.
big piece. Kenny Moore in Indianapolis. Kyler Gordon in Chicago. If you get Jordan Lewis back in Dallas, I think he might be one of the better of those 3.
That's a good
Absolutely.
point.
And one of the bigger tidbits from news and notes is that contract talks have officially begun with Micah Parsons. Officially.
You love to hear it.
They had some feelers back and forth over the past several months, all the way up to me speaking with Micah Parsons when he was doing the Great Make-A-Wish, the great thing with the Make-A-Wish kids at Great Wolf. But as recently as last week in the Combine, Cowboys launched official contract talks with Micah Parsons. So a lot of things they're juggling in the air, and they really need that Osa deal to land as quickly as possible.
Just a deal. Let's just land any deal. You know what I'm saying? If they extend my contract for the next 3 years,
Osa, Jordan, Micah, bang, bang, bang. Let's just get all three of those.
Josh Rodriguez.
Yeah, might as well get it done.
Have you seen him block?
There it is.
You got to keep that guy in the building.
I mean, this is Hall of Fame.
You got to keep that guy in the building.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite parts about the YouTube comment section is one they missed on Spencer too, and once we named it, there's like a
somebody
vomit
said
emoji
Hamlin.
in there. Yeah, somebody
and it
got
was
Hamlin.
Kyle. Ironically, someone named Kyle.
I mean, of course, we know everything. It's great. Brandon also.
Brandon also. Shouts out to Kyle
Hamlin.
Brandon, yeah.
Somebody just asked. Melvin asked. He said, "How do people expect to improve this team, but want everything to be the same?" Speaking on Osa and Jordan Lewis. Let me be very clear.
Go ahead.
Not everything was bad with that defense last year, and a couple of the good things you want to keep the same.
people are soon to forget.
Yeah.
They're quick to forget
Jordan
things
Lewis
like
had
that.
a hell of a season.
Yeah.
And Osa
Seriously.
Odighizuwa is an impactful player on your defensive line.
Jordan Lewis was the most consistent player on your team all of last
And in
year.
and in your locker room.
So
Details.
Here's my question
Details.
for the group here. When you look at the amount of free agents that Dallas has, you've got Osa and Jordan Lewis and Rico Dowdle, I would say, are your three guys there at the top that you probably want to keep
Yeah,
around.
no one's arguing that one.
Aside from that, is there really anybody that you've got you really like, oh man, we've got to have this guy back? Am I forgetting?
In-house?
Yeah, in-house.
But
Am I-
aside from those
none that you would stand on the table for. There are a couple I would like. Eric Kendricks, for example.
Yeah,
I would,
right.
I would
Bam.
like Eric Kendricks to return.
Right.
But I'm not going to stand on the table.
See,
for it.
and like
Right.
Rico is dependent
When
on
Bobby
what
Wagner's
happens
out
at
there,
running
yeah.
back, and I'm standing on the table for Jordan Lewis and Osa Odighizuwa.
Absolutely.
I might go to the table for a couple more guys, but I'm not getting up on the table.
Exactly.
So that's the thing is,
I would like Carl Lawson to return.
Right.
But I'm not standing.
it's all
on the
things that
table.
it's all things that you would like, but in terms of things being the same in terms of a personnel standpoint, I don't think they are going to be the same because you look at some of these guys in free agency where I don't know how interested Dallas is going to be in, like, oh, we've got to have this guy back. Because yes, at points last year the Dallas defense was very good, but I think that they can be better, and I think that's where you look at this draft class. It's a lot of defensive tackles that are very good. It's a class where you can go find a corner in the early rounds or later rounds, and I think you can get some value there. You look at the linebacker. Maybe that's the spot you take earlier because of the injury to DeMarvion Overshown, and we'll see what happens with Eric Kendricks. So I don't know how much of the same it's going to be. I think that this is going to be a new look defense with some of the same cornerstone parts that we saw last year that made it go. I don't know how much of an emphasis there's going to be on keeping more things the same, because if you stay the same after a 7-10 season, then yeah, I think Melvin's got a point that you're not going to see much improvement. But I think this team has a lot. Shout out to Melvin. Yeah, I think that this team has a lot of things that they can do to improve, and I think they're going to take the steps in the right direction. But it starts with keeping your guys in the boat. If you're going to be a draft and develop franchise, you have to take the developed guys that you draft and keep them in-house, and that's why you need to sign Osa Odighizuwa, Jordan Lewis.
And to both of those points, I'll say this. The Cowboys have 22 unrestricted free agents in total, okay? 13 of those are on defense. We're only talking about
Two guys.
standing on the table for two
The top two.
of those 13 guys, okay? Careful not to throw the baby out with the bathwater here, because if you assume that the other 11 are going to walk, well, Melvin, that achieves the mission of not simply repeating what you had last year. You keep the top two performers who are also your culture leaders, okay, in the locker room.
Yeah.
And everybody else is a discussion.
Yeah. I mean, look at, and I know Philadelphia is where everybody's looking right now because they lifted the Lombardi Trophy, but look at what they did from their last Super Bowl run to their current Super Bowl run. Yes, 9 of their 11 starters on defense were different from there, but the two guys that they kept were some of the top two guys in the league at what they do. Actually, I think it was 8 out of the 11, and they had 3 guys that returned as starters, and those 3 guys are at the best of what they do. I think that's what you're looking at trying to do. You can mix and match the pieces as is to try and make it all fit under the one umbrella of the salary cap and make your team as best as possible. But if you've got something good and you have a chance to keep them, do it. And that's what they're doing with Osa and then possibly with Jordan Lewis down the line.
Don't fumble the bag there.
Don't do it. All right. When we come back, I want to talk about some of the other possibilities. We've got a list of free agents in the NFL, and they're ranked top to bottom. We're going to go through and we're going to play a little game along with it. Is this a want but can't have? Is it a need and we're going to go get it? Or is this a pass? We're going to play that game when we come back with free agent talk on Talkin Cowboys. If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talkin Cowboys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, trusted since 1877.
And
Tommy
be
was
sure.
eating his oats with his bare hand. Did you see that?
That was...
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Savage mode.
We get into these oats over here.
When you need it.
by any means.
How do they buy the oats?
They buy the oats on the internet using the Quaker code in the left-hand corner.
Sick.
I want to try something here. Tommy, if you were to make a hand motion to say you were going to give someone a call, what would it look like? Like if you were like to hold it up. Okay, so you still do this. Mm-hmm. Do you know that there's like a whole generation of people that do this? That like have it with like the phone because you hold the phone like that?
Really?
Yeah. There's like a whole generation of people that do.
Tommy, how do you roll down
like
the window?
This.
In a car.
He's an old soul.
He's posturing.
He is posh. He's pandering.
I saw the trap.
He's like, what do you mean?
Pandering to the seniors.
No, I saw the trap.
Pandering to the seniors. But
They were both
is
a
the thing?
trap.
Why not this?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because I mean, you get this.
Yeah.
Well, they're not
Okay,
holding it like this. They're holding
it like that. Yeah.
Who holds their phone like this?
I mean, it's. The
who holds it like this?
Who holds the phone like this?
That's the old. You know, that's like rotary.
And
yeah, but you
who
do this.
does this?
You do
I think this is universal. Let's just keep it.
You just take a fist like this. And,
No.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How do you hold your cell phone? Because mine is all fingers.
It's like this.
That right? Not like
I have a Neuralink.
Not, you don't palm your phone. Like what kind of weird? Okay, let me stop.
All right, we're gonna play a game. This is want, need, pass. Want but can't have, and that just is in terms of the salary cap, how things are going to play out. And then we've got need, which is let's go get this guy. Let's make it happen.
Let's go get him.
Let's go get him. He's going to make our football team better, and we could probably try and find a way to make it work.
Get her done.
And then the other one is pass. We don't really care. Like, don't worry about it.
The first one's get, and then the last one is get.
Get
Go on now. Get
out of here. Get out of here.
G-I-T.
Yeah.
First one is G-E-T.
This is,
second one is G-I-T.
This
Don't
is
get.
based on Greg Rosenthal's list of top 101 NFL free agents of 2025. It's on NFL.com, and he updates it pretty regularly. So we're going to pass the ones that are going to get franchise tag across the board. So those are off the table, starting with the third-ranked free agent, Milton Williams, defensive tackle from Philadelphia.
I would say pass because you're going to get Osa Odighizuwa back in the boat.
And that's fair.
Same.
Pass.
Yeah. Pass on that. Get. Ronnie Stanley, offensive tackle from the Baltimore Ravens.
Pass for me.
Okay.
Same.
31 years old.
Yeah.
He's number 4 on this list, but I think I would say pass.
I'm going to say pass.
You've got to spend your money elsewhere. There's other places to go. Zach Bond, linebacker from the Philadelphia Eagles.
G-E-T.
Wow. Okay.
So this is the
With
need.
a quickness.
Can you pay him?
Get that bald.
It's a 1-year thing. He was a guy, of course, that was kind of written off initially after his first team. Philadelphia found lightning in a bottle with him. He fit perfectly into that system. They're not expected to tag him. I don't see how they even try and let him.
He ended the Super Bowl. His game-winning interception, in my opinion, I think that was it.
I would probably classify that as a want, but
can't get. I'm with you, Kyle.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at.
Okay,
I think it would be sick to go get him.
Here's why I'm with it, and not to provide spoiler for my open market series, which has been going on since last Monday on Dallas Cowboys.
Probably take a read it.
Daily position addressing as far as what candidates the Cowboys should look like realistically. My linebackers piece drops, defensive end dropped today, by the way. Linebackers piece drops on Thursday.
I liked the running back piece a lot.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Zach Bond is, in fact, going to be on my list. And the reason Zach Bond is on my list, for all the reasons that we're talking about, he's got the measurables, he's performed at a high level with the brightest of the spotlights on him in the Super Bowl, helped the Eagles get the job done. But also, when you look at the projected market value, and I'd like to use Spotrac for this because they typically are pretty on track. They're pretty on track with that. So their projected market value for Eric Kendricks, whom we would like to see back in the building, is around $7 million. The projected market value for Zach Bond is 9.7, give or take.
What are we doing?
A couple million more dollars. So then the question becomes Eric Kendricks or Zach Bond. I could make the argument to keep Eric Kendricks over Zach Bond, but if you lose Eric Kendricks, I'd say throw a couple million on the extra on the table and get Zach Bond in the building. That's where I am with
you. Really think that number is going to stick around that mark, though? Philadelphia
projection is projection, right?
It is.
So they probably will,
because this is going to change. This number is going to change upwards or downwards based upon the amount of demand that he gets on the open market. What are the negotiations looking like between he and the Eagles, so forth and so on. So if we just give it a good round, let's say 9.5, and that could go between 9 and 10. Maybe it goes as high as 11. Maybe it comes down to the 8s. What I'm saying is it's not totally incomparable to what Eric Kendricks would probably command on the open market. So if you are willing to bring Kendricks back, and I am, then Zach Bond for me for a couple million more has to be in the conversation.
If we're talking 8 or 9 million,
then yes,
let's make it happen.
Then I'm gonna get. Yeah. If we're talking,
if you're anywhere in the double figures, then
go and get.
Sam Darnold. Not as a backup.
I'm a pass. I'm a pass.
No, it's not. He's
I was expecting like an emphatic. I paused there because I thought everybody would be like, "Get."
Oh, I forgot.
But he had a great year. So.
Yeah, those listen.
Awesome. That's the
he had a great year, but I think he's built that culture for the Minnesota Vikings.
He's going to be outpriced as a backup anyway.
Go
get. No.
Now there is an Eagle that is at least looking like he will be on his way out. Josh Sweat, 28 years old, edge rusher from Philadelphia. Number's still going to be high.
I'm going to pass on this one. I'm going to pass.
Not even a want, but can't have.
I would classify. Maybe it would be a want.
Okay.
Want can't have.
That's a want.
I think for me, it's more of a realistic. Just
that number's good.
It's a sad. Go on, get.
Go on and get. And he's leaving Philadelphia because he doesn't want to take a pay cut from 2024.
Yeah, it's a want, but it's not going to happen.
Do you know what the number would be right around
19 million.
Yep, nope, that's a want.
Yep, nope.
Chris Godwin, wide receiver, 29 years old, try and get you a veteran wideout.
I tell you,
Dallas has done it before.
Although he's had some injury history here recently, not here recently, but recently, you talk about a definitive WR2. Chris,
that would be Brandon Cooks to me. That's what that would be.
Lateral move in that.
It would
department?
be Brandon Cooks. So I'm going to say pass. I'd rather spend a first-round pick on a receiver.
I would too.
Okay, fair. And the more I think about the types of injuries he's had,
ACL, dislocated ankle.
Never mind. Because then I get flashbacks of MG13, and we love Michael Gallup, but I get flashbacks of that. So pass.
What about Carlton Davis, corner from Detroit?
Pass, because I don't know if he fits in the scheme as well.
Okay.
I think Eberflus plays a lot of zone. He's more of a man guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say pass.
What kind of money is he commanding these days?
It would probably be closer to what J. Lou's going to take.
Need J. Lou.
That number is.
Let's go, Pat.
I'm on Wi-Fi. $14 million. That's too rich for my blood.
Pass for me.
For Carlton Davis. That's too rich.
Pass on
Pass
that
for
one.
me.
Does it change your mind if it's Travarius Ward corner?
Yes.
Does change your mind?
Yes.
Okay. That'd probably be right around the same, right? Probably 14, 15?
Around 14.
That's going to be
for reference, Jordan Lewis's projected market value is just around $2.5 million. So we're talking tens of millions more, less. So
wow.
So who are we talking about?
J. Lou's only going to get 2.5 million.
No. Again, projection.
Oh,
so it's projected. I don't think that's right at all. Yeah. I think J. Lou could come in.
It might be updated like 3 years ago.
I think J. Lou ends up at $5 million.
Yeah, at least.
All right. So who am I looking at?
Travarius Ward.
Travarius.
Yeah. One of the best cornerbacks in the league, at least up until this past year. Kind of had a down year and had some off the field stuff. Kind of.
Our Travarius that we gave up.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, he actually. I priced him out. So looking at my open market for defensive backs,
a lot of corners.
I'm really trying not to spoil this. And defensive backs piece will be out on Friday.
Okay.
DallasCowboys.com.
DallasCowboys.com. So make sure you check that out. I have Travarius Ward. They have him at $18 million.
Wow.
In that case,
can have.
Yeah,
want, but
sorry, guys.
cannot have.
All right.
You had him. And then you sent him away because you panicked because of offensive line injury, and then he became Travarius Ward, that is now worth a projected $18 million on the open market.
That's so
you had him. You had him in the building.
That's
rough.
Gotta be quicker than that.
You gotta be quicker. All right. The next one's gonna make you laugh too. Amari Cooper.
Well, pass on.
Pass on.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass on.
Yeah, I think we're
his best days are behind him, and
DJ Reed. I skipped DJ Reed because he's also $15 million.
Yeah,
board, so yeah. Center Drew Dahlman, 26-year-old former fourth-round pick, been one of the best centers in football recently with the Las Vegas Raiders. You just haven't heard of him. He's actually been pretty good. If you're moving Cooper Beebe over to guard,
if you move Beebe to guard, then I say sure, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen, so I say pass.
His market value is right around, let's say 4.5.
Go on get.
Going to get?
Yeah, go on and get for me.
Okay.
It really depends on what they're doing with Cooper Beebe, but I'm
it's
assuming that they keep him at
center.
7. I'm going to say pass.
More like 7?
$7 million.
Get
out of here.
Yeah, no.
Are there any other names out there that you want at this point? Like just looking at the list and kind of going down, we don't have time to go through all 101.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll just name a couple of them. Stop me if you see one. Byron Murphy, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Holland, the safety. Greenlaw would be one you would love to go get. That's the linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
He had a torn Achilles in the last Super Bowl. Remember, he kind of was running off the sideline.
It was a freak accident.
Wild.
He was an impact player before, and he was performing under, guess who? Nick Sorensen, who is now the special teams coordinator for the Cowboys. So there's a relationship there. Dre Greenlaw is one. I'll throw one out there for you. We were talking defensive backs. A good veteran piece to look at adding that would not break the bank would be a Jonathan Jones. Right, performed at a very, very record-setting level for the New England Patriots. I got
Byron Jones,
Jonathan.
Oh, sorry,
Jones.
Misheard you.
No, you did. You did. Jonathan Jones looks like he's coming in projected around $3 million. I think that's doable when you talk about Trayvon Diggs not being able to start the season likely, and then what's the future of Trayvon Diggs as far as after that? So I would like Jonathan Jones because you also don't know what Kalen Carson is quite yet. He's coming off of a season-ending shoulder surgery. So, yes, Jonathan Jones is a cornerback name that I put out there. Here's one that I think is a little too expensive, and not as expensive as Travarius Ward, but in the same breath as you had him in the building. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, former Cowboys cornerback.
What a thriller that would be to get in free.
I know, right? But for $7 million, beat it. So, I mean, there are several names. Who else you got?
Not my lover.
Man in the mirror.
What the chat is asking about Darius Slay. Would you be interested in that? I would. I don't think I would either.
I got a name.
I'm out on Slay because of film. He's too boom or bust on the field for me.
You don't need that.
This is directed towards my boy Tommy.
Oh.
One quarterback.
Colt McCoy.
Formerly of the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields.
Get him.
Wow.
State your case.
Get him.
He's better. He is better than Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. So if you look at your in-house options, because that's what the Cowboys are going to do first, I think Justin Fields gives you more. Justin Fields is a guy that can develop under Dak Prescott, and he might be your quarterback of the future. I'm not saying he would be. I'm not saying he would be. I'm saying I think he has the talent to get there. The biggest knocks on Justin Fields, and rightfully so, are there are points where he holds the ball way too long, and he's trying to get something set up, but it's just not there downfield. I think part of that is a product of bad offensive lines that he's had in Chicago and somewhat in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh was significantly better, but what he can do with his legs is what the Cowboys were hoping they could get with Trey Lance, and they just never got really the chance to get because he didn't play all that much. I think he can make all the throws. He's got a great deep ball. If Justin Fields is out there for the right price, go get him. He can win you game. Your backup quarterback. I'm sorry to cut you off.
For the right price is significant.
For the right price is absolutely significant. If your backup quarterback is, if you're tasking them with winning you games, if Dak Prescott goes down, Justin Fields has proven that he can win you football games. And with this roster, I think he can win you football games.
It's a different conversation, I think, now than it would have been a couple years ago around backup quarterback, because it used to be, when Dak goes down, it's a rarity, and we're kind of in a bad spot at that point anyways. Now it's gotten to the point where it's like, okay, if Dak goes down, you're wasting the careers of CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons and some of these other players that are great at what they do right now, and it's been a little bit more prevalent for Dak to be hurt. I mean, it's just plain and simple. I don't know if I would classify him as a hurt guy or a prone guy, but the track record is he has been off the field a whole lot more lately than he was at the beginning of his career.
I think, but I know, after hearing Tommy Yarrish state his case, I can unequivocally say that he and I are in full agreement. Here's what I wrote on my quarterbacks portion of Open Market. Again, check that out on DallasCowboys.com. And I quote, what is Fields exactly? Is he the version of himself that makes head coaches in the NFL give up on him, or the one that, for a time, convinces them to tie their franchise to him? For all intents and purposes, he had Russell Wilson boxed out in Pittsburgh until he didn't, and he couldn't get back on the field behind Wilson. Still, this is a 26-year-old who is exceptionally mobile and reminds me of Trey Lance, so maybe Schottenheimer can turn Fields into what Lance maybe could have been in Dallas, but without coughing up a fourth-round pick to do it.
Justin Fields was better than Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh.
Fair. And for those that are wondering the price, this price is palatable. Spotrac has him projected at $6.4 million. Do it.
For backup, and you're also getting a young guy in the draft.
Get him.
And you're not giving up a draft pick to get him.
Get him.
All right, we got to take our next break. When we come back, I want to know if Tommy Yarrish tried the shrimp cocktail in Indianapolis.
Boy, did I.
When we come back with more Talking Cowboys right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this segment of the show is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Tommy Yarrish, Josh Rodriguez, Patrik Walker with Chris Beam in the back. Kyle Youmans wrapping up this edition of Talking Cowboys. We don't have a ton of time, so I want to know, how was the shrimp cocktail, my friend? First trip out to Indianapolis for the NFL Combine.
I'm sorry, for those unaware, what is the shrimp cocktail thing?
Oh, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So there's these two sister restaurants. It started at a place that's world famous. It's called St. Elmo's. St. Elmo's has this cocktail sauce that, you know how it goes with shrimp cocktail. It's the red sauce with the horseradish and whatever. They cake this thing with extra horseradish. It's basically just to clear your sinuses. And if you don't know what's happening, it's going to knock you off your seat and onto the floor. And a lot of the times it's kind of tradition that when the NFL Combine goes there and there's all these new reporters or new staff members or whoever it ends up being making it out to Indianapolis, you sit down and you have your first bite of shrimp cocktail. And then the reaction is what is the fun part of what just happened. So I want to hear Tommy's reaction.
That was little old me last week in Indianapolis. We had dinner with a group of people, and the shrimp cocktail gets brought out, and you've got crackers there sitting with you.
Yeah.
And so, I take my shrimp,
take the edge off.
I cut them in half.
Cheated.
I cut them in half.
Whoa. He didn't know first,
wait. The first time I did cheat. I'll give you that, because I had it with the cracker. And I was like, okay, this isn't half bad. And then the protests begin where, you cheated. Oh, you can't do that.
Exactly.
I was like, okay, fine. So I had the other piece. Oh, my God. I mean, I will never ever have a sinus issue again in my life, because everything from here up just came out, and I've got tears rolling down my eyes.
Nice.
He's rolling,
we
laughing.
got tears.
Nick Eatman is cracking up, and I'm just trying to hold it in as best I can, and I'm just saying in my head, "Don't throw up, don't throw up."
Oh no!
It wasn't. I don't even know if I could have thrown up. It just felt like I was going to with how much everything was burning, and I'm not a big spice guy. I don't like spicy food. I can't eat it. Oh my goodness! But it was really good, and I love
type of spice. Like I told you, it's not a spice that you can prepare for.
No,
right?
It's like a wasabi spice.
The back and up into the sinuses, and it
back
sets
down,
your head
on fire.
Yeah. So we look over, and I look at Tommy, and he's doing his best. He's like, and it was equivalent to one of the Looney Tunes cartoons where the face turns red and smoke's coming out of his ears. So everybody's like,
sweating through his dress shirt.
He's like, like the steam comes out, and we're like, Tommy, you're okay? And he's like,
never better.
No, I'm not okay. He finally, it just melts away, and he just gives into it. It was the funniest thing, dude.
I love it. That's awesome. The first time I had the shrimp cocktail was with Nick Eatman, and it was with David Hellman, and we had like a group of people at St. Elmo's, and it was back in 2020, right before COVID hit, and there was like a table next to me of the Jags front office. Like Khan was there, and like I think I forgot who their coach was at the time. It wasn't Peterson yet, I don't think, but it was one of their head coaches over in that corner. And I did the same thing. And as I was like struggling and sweating and looking around, like, is this supposed to feel like this? They were all laughing. And like, I remember Van Jefferson, who was meeting with the Jets at that point, like walked in and like was at the table next to me. And I looked at him, and he like was looking at me. He looked terrified. Like, I'm not getting whatever that guy's eating, because he saw me struggling. And I remember being like, yeah, Van, I love your tape at Florida, dude. Like, it was fun.
I remember the first time, because like you said, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
The first time I tried it, you go in and you're like, okay, it's shrimp. And horseradish can be spicy, whatever. So you're like, yeah, okay, done. You're talking. And then immediately I stopped talking. Like like you said, it feels like it's going to, and it's just like, I don't know what I'm experiencing, but I never want to experience this again in my life. So if you noticed, when we were at lunch, I did not eat the shrimp cocktail.
Oh, you didn't do it.
Yeah,
I've already had it.
Veteran move.
I've already had it.
The veteran move is not doing it whenever they bring it to you in the morning in Radio Row. There was one year, it was me and Alex, one of our producers and editors that's in the building.
Shout out to Alex.
Shout outs to Alex. He does the sounds of the sideline. Great job of doing so. We were there, and they brought out like free samples of the shrimp cocktail at Radio Row at the convention center. We're like, heck yeah, let's get some shrimp cocktail, because I love spice and I love it. Oh, and I was like caking the horseradish, but it was like 8:30 in the morning, and by like 9, I was like, that was a bad
decision.
Bad move.
Milk was a bad idea.
Bad idea. But that's part of it. That's the fun of the NFL Combine. I'm glad you guys were able to go. You did great work. If you haven't looked at Combine Central on the website yet, it's just chock full of information and rumors and interviews and all sorts of stuff. Josh put it all together. These two contributed to it. It was just tremendous. So go check it out.
Real quick before we leave, we didn't get a chance, and I see a lot of people in the chat bringing up the position. Real quick, let's run through the running backs, free agents.
Go for it.
Real quick.
Yeah, because you've got a running back.
I'm going to say a name. Just pass or get.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Nick Chubb.
Pass.
Get. No.
Get.
Yes.
Oh, get.
Yes. Go Dogs. Aaron Jones.
Okay, well, that's why.
No, that's not why, but Aaron Jones.
Get.
Get.
Yes.
Get. Yes.
Yes.
Get.
No. Yes. If you can't beat them, sign them.
Yeah, I'm cool with it too.
Couple more. Najee Harris.
Get.
No.
Get. We need running backs, man.
Yeah.
Give me all of these guys. I'm just kidding.
If you get Najee Harris, then you still need to draft a tandem.
Yeah, just give me a get.
Well, I think any of these guys that you should probably draft. Just maybe not at 12, but I would draft somebody.
Yeah.
Regardless.
That's fair. Although you could argue that Aaron Jones could. He could still.
He could be your best.
Last one, J.K. Dobbins.
Get.
What's the number?
Torn Achilles in 2023. J.K. Dobbins' number is, drum roll please, $4 million.
Go ahead and get.
Yeah, get.
Yeah,
$4 million.
Get him.
Okay, so there you go. Everybody following and
what about Ashton Genty?
G-E-T.
All caps, G-E-T.
G-E-T.
The chat was insane, by the way, today. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
So of those running back names, jump in the chat and let us know if you would get any of those or if you would tell every single one of them to get.
I love that segment. We need to incorporate
get
that.
or
We'll figure it out.
Get or get.
Get or get. All right, that does it for us here on Talking Cowboys. We've got to get because the draft show is coming up here in a little bit. We've got Chris Beam in the back, Tommy Yarrish, Josh Rodriguez, Patrik Walker. I'm Kyle Youmans. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, with more Talking Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!